it's me Aura again and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be continuing on in the fourth tutorial of my series, How to Draw a Chibi if you're not good at drawing. So in my last episode, I asked you guys to suggest a name for our little chibi girl. So thank you Ayesha for suggesting the name Jordan. And in this episode, I'll be drawing little Jordan's hair. I think hair is one of the most time-consuming things to draw because there's so many bits and pieces of it. Also, you have to pick a color that you can show depth with. This is something that I struggled with when I was drawing my little chibi Aura because I wanted her hair to be in black, but it was a bit hard to figure out the color palette for it. But today I'm going to show you a different technique on how to color the hair, and I think it's a little bit more easier actually. So as you all know by now, I use the help of templates or photos to draw my chibi. And this time, I took inspiration from this. If you're an anime fan, you know exactly who this is. Erza Scarlet. So I traced Erza's hair and then brought it on to my chibi drawing. And we'll start this video with how I adjusted her hair to fit little Jordan's head and body. So, let's get started. So here I have the outline that I traced from Erza's hair. And let's drag it on top of our chibi's head and drop it. Like that. I am just going to go and hide her dress and her body so that we have less distracting things around us. Oh, we need the head, and her dress. And now, I'm gonna go with the direct selection tool and start making adjustments. So now, I think I'm going to start coloring it. So to do that, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another copy of this and select all of this layers and rasterize it, and then let's merge it together. There you go. Now it's just one layer. And actually I'm gonna just make another copy of that. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna erase all the little bits that are sticking out that I don't need here. Let me just do that first. I'm going to try something new. I don't know if it'll work, but let's try it. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but I made several gradient layers because I want the gradient to fall on her hair in different ways. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to take the eraser, go to each layer and erase the gradient that I don't want out of it. Alright, so that would be how the gradients fall on her head at the very end. So now as you can see, there's a few bits of little gaps here and there. So what I'm going to do is first going to go and color them. But before I color them, so here is my very base layer here. So I'm going to put a layer just beneath it, and I'm going to take the base color that we have, and I'm going to just paint, oops, I don't want it on the bow, in these areas where I see tiny bits that were left behind. Okay, and there's her hair. I mean, I want to add some highlights and shadows. However, because I gave this gradient effect, I'm actually pleased with myself how it turned out. I really like her hair. I wish I had her kind of hair. Like, I've always wanted this kind of gray purpley fade out type color hair. Don't think it'll work on me, but I've always liked that. So in case you didn't really catch how I applied the gradient, let me just uncheck all of these. So I had this line there. What I did was I went with the wand tool and I selected all the bits and pieces. This is the one that I haven't erased, that's why the little part here is still there. So yeah, I selected all her bits and pieces like this with the wand tool, and then I have two selected colors here in the background and the foreground, and I took the gradient tool. So the gradient tool will make a gradient, a default gradient with the two colors that you have here in your field, and this you can select whichever pattern that you want it to go. I just want it just basically to go from one side to the other. And then what I did was I just go and I made several different layers of gradients according to how I want it to be, because I want just her hair tips everywhere in down here or here up at the top, her little fringe part, just the hair tips to have the purplish effect. So what I did was, this is not properly selected now, so that's why it kind of all the lines got erased as well, but I'm just going through the steps that I did before. So this layer has this purple tips here. Now I'm going to make another layer. I'm gonna get the purple tips onto her fringe like this. I like that. I'll just show you with this too. And then what I did was, because I don't want the ponytail to have this much of the gradient up till here, so I just took the eraser and erased one of the gradients, so then I'll have two layers of gradient with the way I want, just having the tips of her hair in purple. So that's basically what I did. Alrighty, so let's put back the proper layers again. Even this is cool, isn't it? That looks cool. So remember, this layer we painted because we need to paint the little gaps that existed on her hair. If you see now, if I zoom in, you'll see when I unclick and click the gaps in her hair. So what I might do is I might just merge those layers together, just so it's a little less confusion. And there's the layer with the gradient on her fringe, and there's the other one. So I really like how her hair turned out, but I think I want to add some shadows and highlights onto her hair. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to my hair. You could use this hair as it is if you like it, without adding any more shading or highlights. It's basically kind of highlighted because our gradient kind of acts like a highlight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. Let's go back to our hair color. I am going to select this part. I'm gonna choose a darker shading of this now, almost blackish. See if a gradient works again. Oops, I'm painting on the wrong layer. Paint it on a new layer, always paint it on a new layer, but the new layer has to be above all the other layers, otherwise you can't see. There we go. Yeah. I'll name this layer as hair shadows. Hair shadows, so we don't get confused later. Just like we did the body and the dress, I'm gonna go with the pat pen tool and then just gonna select areas and put some shadows into it. Always keep in mind which layer you're selecting and which layer you're coloring. Don't get them mixed up. I'm happy with the shadows, but I am just going to go and put some highlights. So I'm going to make a new layer, and let's say here, highlights. And just select some little bits here and there and give them a little highlighted effect. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Oh, there is something that I need to do though. I want this part of her face to come more forward. So duplicate these two layers. So I have the two duplicate copies of that layer, so I'm going to just go. Let's see if this works. I'm not sure 100%. I'm going to erase some of the hair so that her face comes more forward. Okay, let's see what happened. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks better. The part of her hair is behind her face, but this fringe is above. Instead of this, now you have this, which I actually prefer more. There we go. So her hair is done. We just need to color her bow now. So let's go and color her bow. And there we go. Her hair is now complete. What do you think about it? Do you like her hair? Alright, so we've drawn little Jordan's hair. She's really starting to come together now. What do you guys think of the gradient hair color technique? I feel like it's a much more easier way to color hair than the normal method. So in our next episode, we will be drawing her eyes. If you guys have any questions about the drawings or the animations, leave them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you with answers. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in another episode of Aura in the Clouds.